Okay, logging on a little bit early so that the same thing as last time doesn't happen. Um, okay, let me message. Okay. Hey, Bea, I'm trying to figure out now how to get you on board. It says that you're there. Mm-hmm. 4 viewers. Okay. Okay. Bear with me, guys. Okay. There we go. Uh, Let me figure this out. Swear I looked into it this time. How to actually invite you to join me. Thanks for your patience, guys. I logged on a little bit early just so that I would have a little bit of time to figure out how to invite someone. Live viewers section. Hold on, guys. Oh, you joined. No. Why? Hold on. This cannot happen again, so give me a sec. At least I'm live, but Bea, how do I get you to join me? I looked into this. I'm supposed to just select you from my viewers and invite you to join. So, all right, guys, give me 1 second. Give me 1 sec. Trying to troubleshoot on my end too. Yeah, it says I should be able to invite anyone that comments or from my viewers section. But I'm not seeing that. So hence the extra time, guys. You can always come back in like a minute, but how to how to you joined. Bea, do you like our Facebook page? I don't think that really matters, but let me check again. Invite. Just quickly looking, guys. So, they will need to tap the go live button when prompted. Okay. When you're ready to go live, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, guys. Be mindful. Catch us up with your left swipe right, and you'll be able, I think I'm seeing like, this is for I'm following, yes. Okay, invite. I can't invite you. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this from my phone. So I'm gonna go live from my phone. It seems that I should be able to, okay, let me try this one more time. Welcome, though. Thank you for joining. Baya, who is my special guest, which is happening today, is here to join me. So I just want to make sure I can on. Um, Clearly, I'm the queen of technical difficulties. Okay, don't know. Once again, thanks for your patience. Bea, I'm not seeing any way to invite you. I should just be able to invite you to join me on the live. It says tap a comment from the viewer you want to invite. Your viewer can then choose whether or not to join. I'm not seeing the option. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go live from my phone and see if that is easier. Anything that I'm seeing online is telling me I just have to swipe, but I'm using my computer and I'm not seeing any option to do so. So, live viewers, I see the live viewers. I see that we have 19 people watching. You're good from here, but I can see an option to invite friends to watch. Connie joined. Okay. Shh. Thank you guys for joining. I'm just trying to get my guest on board. Give me one sec. I do not know if this helps, but I see an option to invite friends to watch. Okay. No, I'm not seeing any option to invite anyone to join me. Okay. All good. You know what I could do? Bea, why don't I... No, I don't think that'll work either. Invite Bea. No. Okay. I'm trying. I don't know if that'll work though. Bea, do you want to try talking on Zoom and I'll screen share? Should we give that a shot? I don't know if I can use two cameras at once on my computer, but let me see what I could do. Babe, I'm calling you on Instagram. Maybe we could just make this happen somehow. But I can't seem to see any options to actually invite you to join me. No, can't. Okay, so while I get her on the line, what I'm going to share with you guys is that what we are going to be talking about today is, oh, okay, perfect. Let's give that a shot. Bea is logging into her Zoom account. We're going to see if that works. I really hope it does. But we are going to be talking about dating during social distancing, how to create more meaningful connections, and that is Bea's expertise, her strong point is creating events, special moments, and I really think this is going to help you guys. Just create more meaningful connections, especially like right now during this time. So that is the whole point. So give me a sec. I'm going to join Bea on Zoom, and we'll see if we can make this work. If for any reason I get like disconnected or something, I'm going to hop right back onto a live Zoom, and we'll see if we can make this work. Hey, for any reason I get like disconnected or something, I'm going to hop right back onto a live.
Did you see Mitchell's comment?
Mitchell's comment?
And we'll see if we can make this work.
Kavita, if you click on her comment, it might work. That's what I'm trying to do. Thank you, Mitchell, for your, nope, nothing. I'm going to screen share. It's so bizarre. But I can't screen share on Facebook. Can't screen share my screen.
You know what we could do? We could have everybody join my Zoom.
Let's do that.
Okay, let me, do you want to just copy paste the link in the comments?
Yeah. Oh, do you want to put it in the Facebook comments?
Yeah, let's see here.
Okay, guys, we're going to send you a Zoom link. Click the link. You should be able to view us there instead. Not sure why I can't. You can just do a FaceTime if that helps. Not sure why I can't have her join. No option to invite you. That's crazy. Crazy! But it's okay. It's Friday. I have your Zoom link.
Just sent it.
Okay. In the Facebook comments or to me here?
On the Facebook comments.
Okay. Yeah, okay, perfect. So you guys, Bea just sent her Zoom link in the comments. So you should just be able to click on that, and then you should be able to join us on.
It should work. This is just my basic Zoom. I don't know how many people it allows on. We could also go live on Instagram.
Your Facebook, your Zoom will be fine for 40 minutes.
With any number of people?
I believe so.
We can also go live on Instagram if that.
Yeah, we could. I just don't know how many of my clients have Instagram. Are you getting people joining? Okay. Okay, guys, so you can see there's the Zoom link. I'm going to post it again. Oh, there's Arthi. Hey, Arthi.
Hi.
That should work. Are you guys good? Can maybe give me some... Okay, we have Jennifer D. Okay, Zoom is working. Zoom is working.
So far, so good. Hey, do you guys want to put on your videos so that we can see you and we can hang?
Yeah, you guys can totally turn on your videos if you would like.
Benefits
or you could just watch. Totally up to you. These are... Okay, cool. I'm going to post it again. Zoom link. Okay, guys, make sure to join us on.
See you.
Jason Roberts. Hi, Jason.
On the video, if you would like.
Okay, cool. And then I'm also never ever gonna use Facebook Live again. like ever. Join us on Zoom. I'm gonna just change the meeting description. It doesn't seem. Okay. All right. We got people.
Cool.
Welcome, welcome.
So I see your screen on Zoom.
You see my screen? Maybe I'm screen sharing?
I think you're screen sharing.
Yes.
From Facebook on Zoom.
Yes.
Right. We got people.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop my screen share.
So, but I would stay on. I think you should stay on Facebook.
Okay, I will.
I don't know if you can hear me on Facebook right now, or I think you're screen sharing. Yes, from Facebook on Zoom. Right.
Okay, we have people. Hey guys, welcome. Sorry again. Clearly, Facebook Lives are not my strong suit. This is so embarrassing, but I'll deal with the embarrassment later over wine. Okay.
So I'm getting feedback actually from Facebook. Is anybody else getting feedback?
I am.
Okay, so maybe just stay live, mute. Well, I guess you. Never mind. You're not gonna be able to.
No.
Unless I'm talking, and I'll probably be doing most of the talking anyway, so it might not matter.
It might not. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's get started officially. Cool. 8 participants. Okay, I feel bad because we have like 22 still on Facebook. So what I'm just going to say to you guys, in the comments here, I have put a Zoom link. You don't need to download anything to join us. You should be able to join right from your web browser or easily from your phone by clicking the link. I'll put it one more time. And it's just a platform, so you don't have to be on camera, you don't have to do anything, but you could at least watch us do our live from there. So I could stay online here, but you're not going to see the whole point of this, which is you're not going to see my guest. Maybe you'll be able to hear her, but I do see more people joining, which is great. But I have 26 people here, and we have 11 there. So come on over. And
we keep it for now. Okay. And if it's weird, you know, okay, then you click out.
Let's do it. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for joining me. So first of all, guys, Baya was so kind enough to give me another chance when I completely, I was not able to get the Facebook Live to work last time. But here we are, and we have some juicy stuff for you. So
if everybody can mute themselves, if you're not muted, that would be awesome. I know there's an option. I just, yeah. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
That's awesome because, there'll be a lot of echoing otherwise. So, okay, cool. So, round 2 of, I ended up doing the live last week. We talked about all kinds of dating tips, what to do during this phase that we're going through in our lives right now, this point in time. And I talked a lot about how to use this time right now to just like experiment, and the fact that we have more time to really invest into our dating lives, that's what we should be using this for. So what I wanted to do with you, Baya, is just get your expertise. You're so passionate when you talk about, just in-person gatherings and creating these really special, beautiful moments. And another reason I was so drawn to you and wanted to get this this live going was because you talked so much about how we need to like move all of these special occasions that we have, and we need to do them online. I thought it was such a great content that we could share with people that are dating right now. And so I guess we could start with like, what do you think we could really do right now in the dating world? How can we apply those same principles to dating? How do we take our in-person dating experiences, and how can we shift things online, one, and two, how can we potentially create even more meaningful connections given that we can't meet in person?
Great. So before I answer that, for the people who are on, will you just type in the chat box, like, I haven't met somebody, I'm on like my first date, I'm going on, you know, I'm on second date, I'm looking to meet somebody. Can you just kind of just type in the chat box so that we can gauge what kind of, it'll just help me curate the content, because if everybody's, you know, on the first date and aren't looking to meet people, we'll just change it a little bit. So if you could just type into the chat box.
I can probably help with that though, Bea. So I advertise this to our single clients. So
perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
So it is possible there's a few people that maybe they're on their first date or they just, you know, met somebody. But for the most part, I could say with confidence that most people are single and really looking to meet new people.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and
so
we have a few others. Date number 4 also.
All right. Okay. Great. Cool. Looking to me. Okay. Awesome. So then maybe here's a better question while I'm talking. So for those who are new in the room, if you could just mute yourselves, please. There's a mute button down in the bottom left. Thanks so much. Okay. So while I talk about this, if you could put in the chat what you are most hoping to get out of today. Like what kind of information, if you walked away out of this and it was like, hell yeah, I just spent like 20 minutes with those girls, 30 minutes with those girls, and this is like, I just like got the juice, what would that be? What would be the most successful piece of information, the most important piece of information that we could give you? So I'm gonna answer what she's talking about, and then we can look in the chat and see what people are saying. So I think, you know, dating is fascinating because there are so many misconceptions around attraction. There are so many ways that people think they should be dating that actually don't equal attraction. There are so many stories that we make up about dating if we haven't dated in a while, if we've had like a streak of dates where they didn't go well. And like there are just so many stories that we can create. So at any moment, you could be walking into a date, just like an event, whatever, you know, you're walking into a date and you come with all of your stories, all of your baggage, and we all got it. But so as long as you know that, what's going to happen during every date is you are going to be listening through the lens of your story. So if you are coming into a date and you're thinking, I haven't dated in a while, I don't like the way I look, I feel rejected by most other people in my life, not happy with my job, my boss hates me, whatever it is, right? I'm not saying everybody's in that situation, but if that is the story you're running in your head, think about how you are going to be listening to the person across the screen, live, whatever, for what they're saying. So if you have the story running, I'm not enough, nobody loves me, I'm like, look at me, I'm whatever it is, right? If you have this story, then anything they say, any small thing they do is going to look like a slight rejection, or anything they do that says that's like even on such a small level that might signal to you they're attracted, you're going to amplify that 10x and it will probably come off really needy. So I want to just like start the conversation with getting really real with ourselves about what stories we're walking into our dates with, because we have all got them. We have all got them. So this is kind of like the pre-step, and I think we don't often think about these things before we go on dates, and then we just like vomit our story all over our date, and we feel it. Like, we're human beings, we're sensitive. Like, you can feel when somebody's like too needy or like you can feel it. I can guarantee. I mean, put in the chat, have you felt that before? Yes or no? Have you felt like when somebody is like putting their stuff all over you? Type yes in the chat if you have ever felt somebody being like, oh, wait a second, I don't want to take that on. Like that's, I like feel this person. So why wouldn't that be the same for us, right? Like it's the same thing. So that doesn't mean, by the way, that you need to go into dates having it all figured out, because nobody does. But getting super real with yourself about what you expect from somebody. And if they, so for instance, if they decide they don't want a second date with you, what do you end up making that mean about you? And then what do you bring into the next date having that in the back of your mind? So what are you doing to clean yourself before you go into dates so that even if you get rejected, it does not mean anything about you? Because if you do this, then you can start to do what almost no people do when they date, which is you can begin to start looking at dating as a skill set. That is all it is. Dating is a set of skills. But if you have a big ass rejection story all over you, then even me saying that is probably triggering you right now. It's truly, because okay, so I once put this out on my Facebook. If you're new, hi, welcome, please mute yourself. I remember putting out a thing on my Facebook page once that said, if you're single and looking, like, why do you think you haven't met somebody? Guys, gals, why do you think you haven't met somebody? And I can't even tell you, like, the most relevant thing that men said was, she says she wants these qualities: commitment, strength, protection. I embody all those qualities. She's lying. She actually doesn't know what she wants. That was like more or less. Some people were a little more vague about it. Others were like really intense about it. But that was kind of like she says she wants one thing, but I am those things. So she obviously doesn't know what she wants. She's lying. They just lie. Women just lie. There they are, just walking down the streets, big balls of lies. And on the men's side, what they would say is something along the lines, or excuse me, on the women's side, what they would say about men is something along the lines of, he's a playboy, he doesn't want to commit, he's intimidated by me. All of these things are just stories that we have created to make it so that you not being chosen by this person makes sense to you. And by the way, I have been rejected so many times, and I have done this shit myself. Like, I am totally not sitting here on my high horse being like, oh, I've never, like, I had one summer where I was dating, and every guy that I would go out on a date with, there would be something where, like, like, didn't call me back, ghosted me, said it was just not the right timing, and then like immediately started dating somebody else. I had one guy I had like gone on a few dates with, and we met out at a bar, and a girl that he was previously seeing, he also invited to the bar and then left with her like 30 minutes later without even saying hi to me. I mean, I had this, like, I'm telling you, y'all, I am not sitting here on a high horse saying I have never experienced shitty dating. I have, and I promise you. And I promise you, even if the stories weren't blatant, I had some sort of story running in the back about how I wasn't enough, I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't funny enough, I didn't have big enough boobs, I didn't, like, my overarching theme for my whole life has been, I'm not enough. So before we even start, I just want to get clear, like, all of us start to get clear about what's your story, because we've all got it. And it generally looks something like this: I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm on my own, nobody loves me, I'm unlovable. So just close your eyes for a second and ask yourself, what is the story I'm telling myself? about dating, about why I'm single. And once you've got it, ask yourself again, okay, self, what's the real story I'm telling myself? Like the deep story, like the story that I would never, ever want to tell anybody. The story about shame. What's there? And then, before you open your eyes, just say, self, I love you. I love your shame. I love your not enoughness. I love your unworthiness. I love whatever this wound is, because it is part of you and it was there to protect you at some point. It's just an old ass story that is not getting you a partner anymore. It's just not going to work to get you the partner. All right, if anybody is just joining us, please mute yourselves. By the way, that didn't answer your question. I honestly don't even know what the question was anymore. I went on a tangent, went on a rant. I felt like we needed to, it just like came to me that was like, we got to do that thing first.
Yeah. No, this is exactly, so guys, this is exactly why I have Baya here. This is the point, right? It's to get real with ourselves. It's to ask ourselves really important questions, which really is the base for, it's going to lay the foundation for having more fulfilling dating experiences, which is something I spoke about a lot last time. Like, how do we set the path to just enjoy dating more? Because that's one of the things that sucks right now. And Baya, you had mentioned this a little while ago. You were like, it wasn't, all of this has happened, but dating wasn't working before anyways. There's a problem, and you shed light on something that I hear all the time, where men and women are often saying the exact same things. Their complaints are the same. I hear all the time men always telling me that I meet women, they don't want a serious relationship. They just don't want a serious relationship. And women are saying the exact same thing all the time. And it's crazy because that's what I hear. So that's not the actual problem. There's a much deeper problem. And I feel like that's what you're diving into right now.
Yes. And sticking with the theme of that dating is a skill set.
Yes.
I want you to ask yourself, if there is one skill I want to build in dating, what would it be? Like the thing I want to get better at, what would it be? I want to be able to easily start up a conversation. I want to be able to be more myself on dates. I want to feel more confident when I walk into a date.
Confidence is a big one. A big one I hear often is just being able to approach someone. Not only even people that have the confidence, because of this world that we've created, it just feels so unnatural to approach someone anymore and just spark a conversation. We don't see it often. We're weirded out when somebody does it, just because we're so consumed in everything else that we're doing. And when we're standing in line, we're just staring at our phone. So that's a big one. Even for people who do have the confidence, it's hard to just meet someone anymore.
Yeah. So there are a couple different ways I want to take this right now. So let me just think on this. Mm-hmm. Because there's how we approach as kind of a shallow set of tools, like tactics and skill and one-liners. And then there's how we approach as like an energy of what we embody when we walk up to somebody. And if you use pickup lines, which is fine. By the way, just to give you context, I used to be a wing woman for people doing pickup artist stuff. So I have zero against pickup, one-liners, nothing. I have nothing about it. I used to be in that world, I actually think it gives people the opportunity to learn the tools that it takes to become confident. So I want you to know, like, when I think about one-liners, I'm not saying, or when I think about the approach and I'm saying, well, there's like a difference between what you embody and then what you say. I don't mean don't learn what to say. I just think you're only going to get so far if the only thing you know is the one-liners, because that you can Google. Like, you can find one-liners, you can find ways to approach. But the reason why I asked the question about if there's one skill that you would want to build with dating, what would it be? If approaching is the skill that you want to build, then what do you need to do with any skill you want to learn? Anything. What do you do when you need to build muscle? You get reps in. You get reps. And that, to me, is the most important thing you can do as somebody who is dating. But if you go into dating and don't understand what you're trying to learn about dating, like, if you don't understand that, like, okay, here's where I usually get stopped. I usually get stopped when I approach somebody and they reject me. Okay, I usually like make it to date 1, but they don't call me back on date 2. All right, I usually make it through like the first few dates, we're getting to know each other, and then for some reason they just kind of disappear. The reason why we did that first clearing exercise was so that you can again start to get even more real with yourself, because the more that you know, the more equipped you are to learn that skill. Because coming in here and telling you a set of skills, a set of blanketed skills isn't going to do much. It might, for like, it's not really going to do much for anybody, because they'll be blanketed. But if by the end of this you leave and you say, okay, I actually wasn't clear before where I was stopped, but now I know, now you know what to work on. So I want you to, while we're here, if you have any other tabs open, if you're doing anything else other than watching this right now, I want you to get so present. I want you to get so present. If you were on your phone, if you were on any other tabs, just if there's one part, just get present here. And mute yourself, please. Where does the door usually stop in your relationships, in your dating? Is it in the approach? Do you usually not? I want it to be one specific area, like one area. Is it in the approach? Is it on the first date, you can feel this person checking out? Is it a few days? Like, where do you get stopped? And then ask yourself and be so real with yourself. If you had to guess, and it cannot be victim story. This needs to come, if it's going to work, it needs to come from a place of ownership. If you had to guess, why do you think that's where you get stopped? If your answer looks like it has anything to do with anyone else other than yourself, it's not the right answer. It's not, that's not where we're going today. Because as soon as we like put anything on other people, like the responsibility gets taken away from us, and then there's nothing we can do about it. So give yourself the power right now and ask yourself, what is the stage? What's the spot? And then once you've answered that question, ask yourself, why do I think that is the spot I usually get stopped? So for instance, I gave you this example of when I was dating this one summer, and I got dumped by like 700 guys in the matter of like a very short amount of time. And this took me a long time, by the way. I'm a slow learner, so it's not like I just did this overnight. I ended up afterwards getting into a relationship with like the quintessential nice guy who was never gonna hurt me. He was never gonna break up with me. Our sex life was terrible. We never fought. It was like a very kind relationship, but like not my dude. And I got into a relationship because I brought all the baggage of, I was so scared of getting rejected again that I was like, I'm going to choose the safest bet I can possibly choose because I cannot handle being rejected. So like, sweet guy who's had a crush on me since high school, I choose you. Like, doesn't work. I was bringing into that my entire rejection story. So once you've discovered that, like once you have those answers, then you can start asking yourself the question, cool, where can I go to find the tools? Like, where can I go to learn how to be better on a first date? Where can I go to learn how to approach? Where can I you can totally go and find the tools. That's like everywhere on the internet, and you've got a great woman here who can teach you also. But what I often find we do is we start to, once we kind of know our stuff, we'll then put all these expectations on somebody else. So like the list, like come up with a list of all the people, all the things all the qualities you want in a person. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to do, promise. But in order to attract the person that you want to attract, who do you need to be? So if you want somebody calm, kind, resilient, confident, make that list and then ask yourself if you are being those things, and then the thing to work on is developing the skills to be the things you want to attract.
100%.
And to me, like COVID and this quarantine and isolating stuff is actually the perfect time to do this, because you can be dating online like a motherfucker. Like you can be on so many dates right now, just getting in reps, just getting in the reps. Oh, I kind of blew it that time. Like, oh, that was like, I was not bringing my confident game. I was bringing like my story. Like my whole story was like totally on that person. No wonder they didn't like me. Okay, next. Rep. Because the more reps you do, the less it hurts when somebody rejects you, because you're like, okay, cool. A, wasn't my match, fine. And it's just not that personal. It's like, cool, still need to bring up my A game with the skill set. Like develop the skills. Does this make sense? Does anybody, Kavita, if you want to chat for a second, I want to look at the chat really quickly.
I do have a quick question, but what if you're the one who is, you're the one that's being liked all the time, but you're just not, so it's like the other way. You're like, this is working, everybody wants a second date with me, but you're not meeting the person that you like. That's what we run into a lot too, and you guys probably know or have shared with me even before, where you're like, I'm just not meeting, like the people that I'm meeting, they're just not the right people for me. They like me, but I don't like them. And we see that a lot. We see that a lot too.
Absolutely. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. Then what are you bringing to the table that is attracting these people who are not your match? Mm-hmm. Like, where do you need to, it is always about us. Like, if you're attracting somebody who's needy, how can you look at the neediness in yourself? If you're attracting somebody who is like, I think it's important that you key in on what the kind of the themes are, yes, that you're attracting. What?
I was just saying patterns, themes.
Yeah, totally. And then think about, it's like shadow work. Like, think about the part of yourself that is the thing that you are attracting and where that needs to be healed. What hasn't been addressed? What are you unwilling to look at? Like Tara Brach, who is this amazing meditation teacher and wrote a book called Radical Acceptance, and she quotes somebody in the book, and I'm not sure, some sort of monk or whatever, said, and they say something like, the most important question you can ask yourself is, what feeling am I unwilling to feel? And often when we start digging into this, we start to address feelings in ourselves that are super uncomfortable, but that's where the meat is. And like, you address those things, maybe you don't quite attract your match that point. Maybe you like start attracting a new set of something. Just means there's still, and there is always work. But it is always 100% about the person. Period. It's always about us. The minute it becomes about somebody else, you lose all control.
Yeah, you have no power at all. This is what we talked about. We ended up talking about this last time, was the whole extreme ownership like concept, that the minute you give that away, the minute you blame someone else for why the date didn't go well, even if it's so hard to figure it out, because only then can you make a change. Only then can you make a change next time. Only then can you take that power back.
Yes, absolutely. So I want to address something. I haven't read this all the way through, but I want to read it out loud because I'm wondering if more than one person is feeling this. So you're speaking about a skill set. I don't think I really did use anything of that aside from just being myself. I'm open-minded in a lot of fields and I know what my intentions are, but to me, it's after the approach, like what to say. Actually, do you want to unmute yourself and ask I don't think I'm understanding the question. Do you want to unmute yourself? I don't want to butcher your name because there's an accent. Frederick? Okay. Do you want to unmute yourself and ask, and we can chat about this?
So basically the question is like, when you try to you approach the person by itself, and it's the afterwards, it's like how to maintain and how to know about learning about the person by itself.
So tell me if I'm getting this right. You approach somebody and they'll talk to you, like you engage in conversation, and then you're trying to figure out how to keep them engaged?
Exact.
Okay, so the most interesting person in the room always is the most interested. The most interesting person in the room is the most interested. The more you shut your mouth and let somebody talk, the more they like you.
Yeah, people love to talk about themselves. So when you spend a whole afternoon and someone's asking you, you don't even have to do the work. All you have to do is ask questions, let them talk. They are going to leave feeling like they had such a great time. Like people, this is one of the tips that we give before somebody comes speed dating, is an interesting person is an interested person. And I'm so glad you brought it up. I wouldn't have thought of it right now. But that is such a good point, because you don't even have to do the heavy lifting. You can
not at all. Yeah. There's actually a great negotiations a skill in negotiation, which is used perfectly here, so if you're having a hard time coming up with questions, you repeat like the last few words of what somebody said. So say I am like, I had a fantastic dinner with friends last night. You say, dinner with friends last night? Or I say, yeah, I've just really loved traveling lately. And you say, traveling lately?
That's basically reflect.
Exactly. It's mirroring. And it's a negotiation tool, and it works wonders. You will, and here's what I mean by getting in reps. Like, if you are finding yourself like kind of getting stopped in this area, like you get their attention, but then you're do this with everybody. Do this with everybody. Like in 70% of your conversations over the next week, just use this one tool. What did you say? Or whatever, the last three. That's obvious now. That you travel a lot, right? Just use this in every conversation you remember. Just use this so it doesn't, because it will start to sound less awkward. It will start to become, and then you'll just realize people just spill. They just spill. So I would say, to be interesting, I think Kavita's gotten right on. Like, does that answer your question?
Yeah, most likely.
Okay, is there anything else you want to tap onto that could be helpful that we didn't touch on?
Well, I mean, like from my own point of view, it's like for me, like being a parrot is not necessarily being interesting, but that's my point of view. But I get what you mean.
No, it's not. You are interesting to the other person because they're talking about themselves. we as human beings think we are the most interesting people in the room and we want to hear ourselves talk. So the more we're on a date and you let me talk, the more I will walk away from that date being like, who was that guy?
Yeah.
And you haven't said shit.
It's true. And you really don't. And I would almost say, like, I mean, it works this way really well too, because women love to talk. There's a lot of guys that love to talk too, but I think women like to talk a little bit more. I think women speak, like, this is just like a random thing that I remember, but I think women speak like 20,000 words a day. Men speak 10, like half, which is why when we come home, when married couples come home from work, like the man's like done. He's done his 10,000 words, but the woman has another 10,000 words to go. So I think a man can get even further on this, like trying this tactic out.
Yeah, but you know what? I want to speak to also something just a little deeper for you as well. And it's Frederick, is that how I say it?
Yes.
Okay. Are you like a masculine identified male interested in females?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to assume. I have no idea who's on the call. So, okay. What is really attractive to women is so there's this amazing, I actually, for some reason, I'm just getting like the hit for you to check out a man named John Wineland. Are you familiar with him?
Nope.
Okay, so if you find him on Instagram, John Wineland, I'll type it in right now. He is an amazing relationship teacher, but he talks about like males and the masculine embodying like stillness and consciousness. And I know that kind of sounds esoteric, but like the slowness and steadiness and groundedness of a man makes the feminine counterpart all of a sudden feel really safe. And then it's what helps create the polarity, because what might be happening if you're not getting past that point is that you're not creating enough polarity in the conversation, which might mean you're talking too fast, you're like bobbling around. So if you were to just like ground yourself when you're talking, still yourself, slow yourself down. John would tell you to take some deep breaths beforehand, like really just like your posturing, right? And then you ask the questions from there. That's hot.
That was very nice. That was very powerful. I'm like in this. I'm like, keep going, please.
So Frederick, I would say to check him out. I don't know why I feel that way for you. I don't know you at all, obviously, but I think you may hate him. You may be like, what the fuck? But I suggest just like seeing if you like check his Instagram out and see if you like what he's saying. He has a bunch of videos and he does men's groups. He does women's groups too, but check out some of his videos where he's talking to a men's group and just see if you resonate.
I'll try that.
Great. Okay. Thanks. Go ahead and mute yourself. And then why don't we bring Jennifer if you want, is Jennifer still on?
Jen, are you there?
I'm here.
Hi. Great. Do you want to ask your question that you typed in the chat? And for anybody else who wants to ask a question, I feel like doing Q&A can be helpful. Like it puts more.
Yeah, you guys should jump on this. This is super, super valuable. This is going on a much deeper level than we usually cover, and I'm loving this. I hope you guys are too. But I think this is such a great opportunity to get your questions answered by someone like Baya.
So yeah, feel free to ask a question or even just like raise your, put I want to like put hot seat in the chat or something, and we can, if there's time, we'll talk. Okay, Jen, why don't you talk about your question?
I don't know if it's so much as a question, just sort of, I was trying to just keep in the theme of today and what we're all living through at the moment.
Yeah.
I guess what it is just like, I've been dating for a couple of years now, and I just find there's something special about all of this kind of at the moment. And I actually met someone online, but not physically met. We had literally just started speaking just before all of the quarantine stuff went down. And it's been very interesting to sort of be in a position where you're getting to know someone without the pressures of, you know, going on the first date and all of that. And maybe almost taking more time to actually get to know who the person really is, as opposed to, you know, rushing into everything, which I find is a lot how it is today, is that everybody's in such a rush all the time, and this has really slowed things down. So again, I don't know so much if it's a question or just sort of what I'm living, but I guess what I'm getting to is that by the same token, it's like, well, if we're going to be doing this for the next month or 2 months, you know, it kind of.
Let me stop you, because we can definitely speak broadly, but we're here, and if you have something you're going through, like, we can talk about that too if you want. Zero pressure. But
no, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm going through anything. I think it's just more of getting your opinion as to, you know, if I have to just text and phone call and FaceTime for the next 5 weeks, how is that? How do you keep it interesting?
Yeah, totally. Okay, so first of all, you know how all the live events were getting canceled? Well, like, every event has moved online.
Yeah.
There is, like, I cannot even tell you at any given time how many virtual events there are. Anything from cooking classes to tantra to you name it, there is everything online right now. So you can date by going to these events, right? You can, like, there are so many ways that you could, because, okay, think about it. A lot of events are being held on Zoom, for instance. And in the chat, you can see at the bottom, it says to, and then it says everyone, and you can click that button and you can chat privately. So for instance, if you're like doing a group cooking class or something, you can click the person that you're on the date with, and you guys can be chatting in there privately while you're doing the big event. So that could be one way, but I think it sort of comes back to, like, if we're gonna again get just like a little deeper with this, it sort of comes back to the essence of what we were talking about at the beginning, which is like, what do you want out of this time? Like, if there is a skill you want to build, use this time to get reps in, right? So that by the time you're live and meeting people in person again, like, you've gotten so many reps in online that it's not about meeting somebody, it's about practice. It's about practice. And then you take the pressure off, it's way more fun. So if you can think about, like, what is your intention for yourself when it comes to dating while we're in quarantine? What's your intention? So I'll ask you, Jen, what's your intention?
To be more honest.
Cool. Okay, do you have any ideas about how you might?
Well, I think that why I'm saying that is because I think a lot of us, again, I'm speaking personally, but just also from what I hear from friends and people I meet as well. I think we try to hide a lot of who we are, especially online. And that's sort of been something that I'm working on.
Yeah, okay. Okay, what's one way you could be more honest?
Saying exactly what I'm thinking or asking the questions I really want to ask and not being afraid of the answer.
Okay, let me stop you. I think that's good. Here's what I would say. Sometimes, and I'm not saying this is you, so I just want to like tune you into this channel in case it is. Sometimes when we ask questions, like, for instance, let me think here. Like, hey, just want to know where your head's at. Like, are you into me? Are you not into me? Not saying it's a bad question. I'm just like, okay, so we ask these questions. Sometimes those questions are coming from a place of fear and control, and not actually from a place of curiosity. So, like, the perfect example, I have a dear friend, and by the way, I truly am not saying this is you, Jen. I'm just saying, like, if you could just, like, ask yourself, something I've been doing lately is instead of asking, is this true? I ask, where is this true? And I've been doing this with my partner. So when we're in an argument and he's saying something and I'm like, that's bullshit, he doesn't know what he's talking about, like, nope, deuces, I'm out. After I like have my little tantrum, I'll go back and I'll be like, okay, where is there truth to what he's saying? Not is there truth, but like, where is there truth? So as I'm talking, if you can, even if you're like, nah, she doesn't know what she's talking about, screw this chick, that's not me, that might be like a teeny bit of a signal that like it's actually exactly you. I'm not pointing this at you, Jen, just in general. So as I'm saying this, think to yourself, where is that true for me? Where is that true? Because we have lots of tools. I use these question cards. These are like the best, not this deck necessarily, but like there are so many decks of question cards that you can ask, and you can ask really fun, interesting questions. So that to me actually isn't the, like, how do you like spice things up, have things be interesting? There are lots of ways to do that. All the events, question cards, you name it. So let me just tell the story so I can finish that thought loop. But so I have this girlfriend, she's one of my very best girlfriends, and she's dating this guy she hasn't dated in a really long time, and she is like notorious for going on first dates and then either not being interested in them or they're not interested in her. And it's about 50-50. Like she's either just like, nope, not my guy, or she's like kind of into them and then they're just not into her. And so she finally meets this guy, and they've gone on like 10 dates. They've slept together. She's really excited about him. And then boom, COVID hits. And so they've been texting really regularly for the whole time they've been dating. COVID hits, and all of a sudden he goes quiet. And she's like, what's going on? Like, I don't know what to do. How do I navigate this? Do I text him? Do I not text him? Do I like ask him, like, hey, listen, I'm really looking for a relationship. So like, if you're not into me, then I want to know, right? Like she's asking herself all these questions until she took a step back and she was like, every question that she wanted to ask him. She told me once, she's like, okay, the next time we see each other, I'm just going to say like, okay, this is where my head is. I want something more. And like, do you want something more? And I said to her, I was like, but do you actually want something more right now? Like you're still really getting to know this guy. And immediately she was like, no, not yet. But I'm so scared that he doesn't want me that like, it was the one thing she could do to control his the situation, really. So because things aren't moving quickly right now physically, there may be a tendency to want to ask leading questions that are more than just honest. They're a way to control the situation and not feel the discomfort of being in the unknown. So I don't know if that's helpful, Jen, if there's anything in there that.
Yeah, no, 100%. I totally get and agree with where you're coming from. And I could see how, and I mean, you answer my question, and by the same token, I guess I'm also practicing asking non-leading questions or the questions that are not to stroke my ego or to stroke my insecurities or anything like that. So, but I do see how, as much as I'm trying to stay away, and like I like your cards, I actually go on Google a lot and like, top questions to ask someone you're trying to get to know and things like that, which has been really awesome.
Yeah.
But to see how those other questions slip in from time to time of not necessarily saying outright, where is this going? Because we've never met, so who knows where it's going? But more like, like when this is over, what are we gonna do? And, so I'm trying to stay away from those things, and I really appreciate everything you just said surrounding that.
Awesome. I'm so glad you're trying to stay away from those, because they just immediately take you out of the present moment, and they're trying to control a future that doesn't exist. Super great that you know that, and that seems really clear to you. So, and if you're ever wanting to ask a question that feels vulnerable and feels scary, like the thing that you can practice is saying like, I'm actually really scared. I'm about to ask this question. I actually even might be asking this question because I want to hear a certain response from you. So when you make the implicit explicit by just saying your truth, just speaking like, okay, I am so scared to say this, and honestly, I don't even know why I'm asking. Maybe I'm asking because I want to have a certain answer, and like and I'm kind of uncomfortable in this phase or whatever. Like, bring truth to an uncomfortable question as well.
That's a great tip. I mean, again, something you could use anyways, but especially in dating, it just gets the other person to, there's no like reason to like react negatively when we're being vulnerable and just like putting ourselves out there and being that's a great way to be honest, if anything.
Yeah.
Should we take one more question? We have somebody who said they have a question.
That is Feten.
Great. Jen, thank you so much for asking that. I think that was probably really valuable for a lot of people. So thanks for stepping up.
Let me see if she's still here. Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah. I think.
Do you want to unmute yourself if you are? What's?
Yes.
Oh,
Hi. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. Well, my question is about online dating because I tried it like for many times through the years, and I become kind of very negative. So when I go on an online date, I'm like even when I go in an app, I'm already negative before even start anything, just because I had so many I think bad experience. So for now, I mean, like with the situation, we are not going out, we are home. And even though before I'm very busy person with my work and everything, so I don't meet a lot of people on real life. And even if I go out with my friends and just to eat or to have some fun, so I don't see really how we can meet new people without online dating. If with someone as me who's like really become kind of very negative with the online dating, and I promised myself that I will never go on app again.
Okay, let me ask you this: if you were in my position, what advice would you give you? What advice would you give yourself?
Like in the now, I don't know. Like I'm just focusing on myself and just like doing what I love to do with my kids and just with my friends. But I think after the quarantine and everything's going back to normal, maybe I'll try to do some social activities, like I don't know, dancing classes or cooking classes or anything like that give me the opportunity to meet new people, I guess.
How much of a priority is meeting a partner?
It's not my first priority. I would love to, but I think I have already busy life. I have work, 2 kids, so I'm already busy. It's not something that I will. Yes, if I meet someone, I will give him space in my life.
Okay, let me. Do you mind if I pause? I'm just gonna, because I know we're running low on time, and I just want to make sure I get to the meat of this. So, by the way, no judgment. Like, I have zero judgment, and I hope you know I'm saying everything with love. And I want to shoot it straight so that hopefully you can get something out of this that like even shifts your mind just a little bit. So I just want to say that. I actually don't think you would be prioritizing this call if dating wasn't something you were really interested in. And I wonder if saying that it's a priority would mean that you would need to face something in yourself about why it hasn't happened yet. That would actually be that could be hard to look at. That could like bring up some stuff. Is that at all Could that be?
Maybe.
That?
Maybe just like bad, past or like negative relationships before. I don't know.
Yeah, because it sounds like, when we draw these lines in the sand, like I'm never going to get online again, right? Like when we make these really strict statements, it generally means something has happened that hurt, that like made us say, I can't do this anymore. Like this, I can't deal with another person not showing up when they said they would, or stop, or not texting, or like so many gross, whatever it is, no more dick pics. I can't do any more dick pics, right? Like there is something that I find happens that is pretty, something so intense that catalyzes that decision. And it might be a number of things, right? It could be like your experience in past relationships, and unfortunately we just don't have enough time to go into them here. But my invitation to you would be to look at the places in your life right now that scare you the most about dating, like going online. Like, where were you rejected? Or where were you doing the rejecting? Or where is there pain around being online such that you're saying, no way, not for me? Because online dating, and I'm not saying I'm not saying everything needs to be online, and I'm not saying you should go online. People meet online all the time. So anytime I hear something that is like a blanket statement, and you didn't say this, but something like online dating sucks, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I have to point to all the times in which it has worked. I met my ex-fiance online on Tinder. He proposed to me 3 months after he proposed to me. He broke off our engagement. And then I found out that everything he was telling me, not everything, most of what he was telling me about his history was a complete lie. Why he had moved to Utah, what he was doing for his profession. I mean, you name it, it was like all a lie. And it would have been so easy for me to say, well, who goes online? Liars. Liars. Because they can just get away with whatever they want. But the minute I do that is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning of the call. The minute I do that, I take my power away. I can't possibly see my role, and then I can't change. So my invitation to you would be to look inside yourself and ask yourself, where are the places I am unwilling to feel when it comes to my pain in dating? And where does that show up online? And could it be that it could actually be fun if it were a priority, because then you're getting in reps and you're realizing it's not that scary, or you create a different story around what it means to be online. Like, there are so many other options than just, I'm shutting it out, it's not for me. This could be a game. I'm not saying it is, by the way. I'm not saying you should get online, I'm not saying any of that. I'm just asking, where could there be something that's unaddressed that's actually stopping you from meeting somebody?
Thank you. I think I have the answer. Is more about like getting rejected, or not rejected in the beginning, but after investing like emotionally with someone, and then goes for nothing, like ghosting or stop calling or anything that hurts. And then after a couple of times that happen, you end up by saying like, it doesn't work for me. Online dating is just for people they're wanting just having sex. That's it. So I think yeah, I have the answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I actually have an exercise that I got from John Wineland that, for whatever reason, is coming up for me for you. But first of all, thank you so much for being so honest and vulnerable. I really feel you right now, and oh my God, I have been there. Like, not only have I been there, I'm still there. Like, I'm in a relationship now, and I still have stuff come up about my ex-fiance who just like left. And like, this stuff sometimes takes years to heal. So I hope, I say that for you to give yourself some ease and to be gentle with yourself as well through this. But so a really beautiful practice is to get, and this isn't mine, I didn't make this up, this is a John Wineland practice, and it has been so helpful. And this is for for women specifically, more because women are more in their bodies, and that's how they process emotion a bit more. But so if you can take that grief, like that pain, that fear, and you can think of a song that helps you like feel that, and then think of a saying, and it's like the exact saying that you want, like like every man who meets me wants to ravage me, or whatever it is. Like you come up with one saying, and then find a song that embodies that quality, and 3 days a week for 1 month. We're in quarantine. There is no excuse of not having the time. 3 days a week for 1 month. Dance the grief. Don't think the grief. Like we spend so much time up here, but often healing doesn't happen here. Like, this is what gets us into circles. But if you can dance the grief, and so you have the one song and you feel the grief and you cry and you yell and you do whatever you need to do to get it out of your body, whatever that grief is, and then you can have like a transition song, and then you dance the other side of it. Like, what is the thing that you want so much? Like the like, how can you like embody this? Like, I'm using like, I just want to be taken. Every man who sees me wants to take me, right? How do you like, what is that? What does your body do when that's the juice that you give it? And for 3 days a week for 1 month, you dance these two things. And you let your body heal. You let it heal for you without your mind doing the work. And you just let it out. Whatever needs to come up, comes out. What we hold on to stays. What we let move through us, it empties. It empties. It gets less and less and less until it heals.
Wow. I've never heard that before. Wow, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful practice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, it is intense, but it's also really beautiful. And if it doesn't speak to you right now, it may not be for you, right? You may be like, that bitch, like, what was Kavita thinking? But if there is like a teeny part of you that's like, what would that be like? Try it. You're in quarantine. It's not like you got to worry about anybody being there seeing you.
Yeah, that's.
All right. Cool.
Wow. I hope everyone is enjoying this, and I hope there's something to take something away, way to relate to people in a way. Yeah, she is something special. This was what comes out in your Instagram videos and in the stuff that you share. It's just like real and passion, and taking the time to think about what you really want to say and what direction you want to go in for you, and really keeping who's in front of you in mind. So I hope you.
Well, it's kind of, shit, y'all. I've been there. I just like we're all just humans trying to figure it out, and I am too. Like, we all are. So like, I'm just on the path with y'all. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for this. Wow, and thank you for hosting us on Zoom. I'm gonna figure out the Facebook thing out. Don't know what happened there. Guys, I thought this was really beautiful, and I couldn't look, but I have like two of my girlfriends messaging because they're watching, and I'm sure they're obsessed with you after this.
Oh.
And all right, guys, I hope you.
I wasn't engaged to Anne Hathaway's ex. I don't think so. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you all for being here and being present. We have all 21 participants who were at the beginning are still here, which I think says something. So, thank you for being here with us, and for, I just think time is the most precious resource we have, and I hate to waste people's time. It's like, I do events. I used to be in the dating industry. That's why Kavita brought me on. But I do events now. And so I'm always thinking about like how we create experiences for people that are worth their time, because it's the most important resource we have. So I really, really appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We will, I may do some sort of like recap I think you're recording this, which is great. So hopefully we'll be able to share it. But thank you guys for joining and staying on and following us over. And yeah, like, thank you so much. We don't get to like cover this kind of stuff and go this deep with so many people, and giving people the chance to talk and get their questions answered. So this was such a treat. I really appreciate you taking the time, and so much time. This went on much longer than I had expected. So thank you.
Totally. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Mwah.
Okay, am I still on Facebook? I am. I hope you guys could hear that. That was not just a treat for I think our audience, but that was a treat for me. I know I had friends watching. I had questions prepared, and I didn't need them. And but this is what I was talking about, and this is why I was so excited to have Baya on. So I hope you guys were able to hear that. There's still people here. So we were chatting. You wouldn't have been able to see us, but hopefully you heard it. She did record it, so I'll see if I'm able to share, because that was just a really special, say her name. Baya Voce is her name. So I hope you guys were able to hear us dive really deep, deeper than I thought we were going to go today. So that was really great. And there were some really valuable tips there. I know that there's some people watching that are not, that are not looking to meet someone necessarily. And there was some really lovely stuff there that we can all apply to our lives and to our encounters. And again, to have those interactions that are just more fulfilling and real and honest. And so I hope you guys were able to listen to that. Enjoy your weekends. We will be announcing more of these. It looks like you guys were able to hear everything. So I'm really, really happy about that. So again, her name is Baya Voce, Bayavoce. My understanding is that she's most active on Instagram, so you can always check her out. I will I will let you know how you guys can. Okay, amazing. That's great. So this was somewhat of a success on the Facebook side, but we had a great following on the Zoom side. So I will email you guys her, where you can like follow her and check out the other stuff that she's doing, because she is quite something. So thank you guys. Thanks for putting up with my absolutely terrible technical skills. I'm usually pretty good at this stuff, but I don't know. I gotta work on my relationship with Facebook. So thank you, and enjoy your weekends. And I hope that was valuable. And I hope you guys take the time to think about, that's some deep stuff. That's really having to go in and think about things, and really think about, why you're doing what you're doing. And so enjoy your weekends, and we will talk to you soon.